The history of China begins in the fertile regions along the Yellow and Yangtze rivers, where the first Neolithic civilizations developed around 10,000 years ago. It was in these areas that early agricultural villages flourished, and a complex social organization took shape, establishing one of the earliest advanced cultures. Around 3000 BCE, cultures like Yangshao and Longshan emerged, characterized by sophisticated pottery and agricultural organization. The rise of writing and advancements in metallurgy marked the first steps toward a more complex social structure, laying the foundations for China's early dynasties. The Qing Dynasty, traditionally dated from 2070 to 1600 BCE, is considered China's first dynasty, though its existence is uncertain and surrounded by legend. The first historical dynasty of China is the Shang, 1600–1046 BCE, noted for its use of bronze and writing on oracle bones. It was an advanced civilization with a strict hierarchical structure and a belief system that revered ancestors, practiced divination, and recognized the emperor's divine authority. In 1046 BCE, the Shang dynasty was overthrown by the Zhou, who established the Zhou dynasty, 1046–256 BCE, long and critical in shaping Chinese culture. The Zhou introduced the concept of the mandate of heaven, which justified the ruler's right to govern based on morality. During the Zhou period, China gradually fragmented into numerous feudal states that entered into conflict. This era, known as the Spring and Autumn period, 476 BCE, and followed by the Warring States period, 475–221 BCE, was a time of great intellectual ferment and philosophical development, including the birth of Confucianism, Taoism, and legalism, schools of thought that would define Chinese governance and culture for centuries. In 221 BCE, the state of Qin emerged victorious from the Warring States period and founded the Qing Dynasty, marking the first unification of China under a single ruler, Qin Shi Huangdi. This emperor standardized weights, measures, coins, and written characters, initiated construction on the Great Wall, and created a centralized bureaucratic system. Qin Shi Huangdi's reign was brief and marked by the harshness of legalist policies, with oppressive policies leading to rebellion. In 206 BCE, the Qin Dynasty fell, making way for the Han Dynasty. The Han Dynasty, 206 BCE, 220 CE, is considered one of the most glorious in Chinese history, with significant innovations in science and culture. China expanded towards Central Asia and present-day Vietnam, developing a flourishing trade along the Silk Road that connected the Chinese Empire to the Western world. During the Han period, Confucianism became the official state doctrine, while paper, the compass, and ironworking techniques were perfected. By the end of the Han Dynasty, China was hit by rebellions and divisions, leading to a period of fragmentation known as the Three Kingdoms, 220–280 CE. After nearly 4 centuries of disorder, the Sui Dynasty, 581–618 CE, reunified China, but its reign was brief. The subsequent Tang Dynasty, 618–907 CE, ushered China into a golden age of stability and prosperity, extending its control as far as Central Asia. It was a period of cultural openness and trade, with significant foreign influences and the rise of Buddhism as the main religion. The Tang also promoted the arts, poetry, and urbanization. However, internal revolts and external pressures led to the downfall of the Tang Dynasty. In 960 CE, the Song Dynasty took control and ruled until 1279. The Song Dynasty introduced the imperial examination system on a large scale, allowing officials to be selected based on merit. This period saw significant technological innovations, such as movable type printing, gunpowder, and advancements in agriculture and navigation. The Song Dynasty was economically advanced, but was ultimately conquered by the Mongols. In the 13th century, Genghis Khan and his successors conquered China and founded the Yuan Dynasty, 1271–1368, under Kublai Khan. It was the first time all of China fell under foreign rule, but integration proved difficult. The Yuan Dynasty strengthened contacts with the West, but resentment toward foreign rule led to rebellions, and in 1368, the Yuan Dynasty was overthrown, leading to the Ming Dynasty. The Ming Dynasty, 1368–1644, restored Han culture and brought stability to China, renewing the Great Wall to protect the country from invasions. In the early years, explorations led by Admiral Zheng He reached East Africa, but after 1433, China gradually abandoned oceanic voyages, adopting a policy of isolation. In 1644, the Ming Dynasty fell under the assault of the Manchus, who established the Qing Dynasty. The Qing Dynasty, 1644–1912, consolidated Chinese territory and ruled successfully for nearly 3 centuries. During the Qing era, China reached its territorial zenith. However, the 18th century saw increasing Western pressure, and China suffered disastrous wars like the Opium Wars, which forced it to open ports to British trade and accept territorial concessions. By the late 19th century, internal rebellions and growing foreign influence weakened the empire, paving the way for the Xinhai Revolution. In 1912, the Qing Dynasty was overthrown, and the Republic of China was established. However, the country quickly fell into the chaos of warlordism, and after a brief unification under the Kuomintang (KMT) in the 1920s, civil war broke out between nationalists and communists. During World War II, the communists and nationalists formed a fragile alliance against the Japanese invasion. But in 1949, the Communist Party of China, led by Mao Zedong, won the Civil War and founded the People's Republic of China. Mao Zedong inaugurated an era of radical change with policies like the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution. These initiatives aimed to transform China into a self-sufficient socialist power, but resulted in famine, unrest, and repression. When Mao died in 1976, the country was impoverished and politically divided. After Mao's death, Deng Xiaoping initiated economic reforms that transformed China into a major world economy. Deng's reforms opened the country to foreign trade, encouraged foreign investment, and enabled rapid industrial growth. China adopted a system known as socialism with Chinese characteristics, combining a market economy with political control by the Communist Party. In recent decades, China has become an economic and technological global powerhouse, maintaining a one-party political system. Under Xi Jinping's leadership, China has pursued international expansion with projects like the New Silk Road. However, China also faces geopolitical and social tensions, including internal conflicts over reforms and relations with the rest of the world. This long historical evolution has made China one of the world's oldest and most influential civilizations, continuing to play a leading role in global politics and economics.